camp, his camp was hampered, but over our vacation, got healthy again. Sean McVay feeling very good. Take a listen.
He's doing great. He's a 100% participant. He's doing a heck of a job, taking care of himself with a lot of different things. As soon as we get off the grass, he and Reggie have a great plan. But, I can't see into the future, but I certainly, if you look at what the last week has entailed, feel really good. And there's nothing that would lead me to believe, unless we have an unforeseen setback, that he's not going to be ready to roll against the Texans.
Okay. Do you believe the Rams are contenders? Stafford's back.
They're absolutely top-flight NFC contenders. And I thought they were by the end of last year. I thought they were. And I thought they, again, what do you take into a playoff loss? I think more considering the team they lost to, 13 yards away from beating, then annihilated the Commanders and the Chiefs. And they had beat the Packers pretty soundly the week before. And I also am now a bigger believer of the theory that I posited that Stafford's back did hurt, and they had an agreement.
Wow.
That
okay.
Come back and preseason for you will be very truncated. And we
can't throw the ball around to Devontae.
The timing, then it's very, very serendipitous timing. He's healthy just in time to get the full regular work to be ready for week 1. And so with a healthy Matt Stafford, yes, they're definitely contenders. And I don't think at his age he's ever fully healthy. You know what I mean? He wasn't fully healthy last year, but I felt they were contenders by the end of last year, as evidenced by the many flowers that they sent me.
No, they are not contenders. Wow. All right. And this is why I don't agree with your theory that they're just giving him a rest. I would want to see him throwing with Davante Adams to get that timing right. So I think he was legitimately hurt. McVay had expected him to be ready for the beginning of training camp, at least according to McVay himself. And then the second week, and then it just dragged out. He's 37 years old, and that I emphasize old because he's an old 37. I think he will play. I think may miss some games, but I think his play will be hindered by his age and the injury. And here's why I bring it up. Even Matthew Stafford healthy, I see everybody putting him in the top 5 and this and that. He hasn't been that guy since the Super Bowl. Their record in the last 3 seasons is 22-18 with Matthew Stafford.
Do you buy big game quarterback though?
He's been good in some big games, but I don't buy this that he was cooking at the end of last year.
Oh, not at the end of the year.
Because going into his last three games, they clinched, so he sat out the last game. His last 3 games that they needed to win, which they did, they failed to score 20 points in any of the games. He failed to have a passer rating even as high as 84 in any of the games. He failed to throw for 200 yards in any of the games. He threw 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So I just think that you look at his numbers, look at his production. He has had big games, don't get me wrong. But overall, I don't think he's that same guy that led them to the Super Bowl a few years ago.
No,
I think we're kind of having a little bit of the wrong conversation here. Because first off, since the Super Bowl, the Rams have been dealing with a ton of injuries all over the place, quite frankly. Stafford himself, the receivers, O-line, et cetera, et cetera. I don't feel the need to really rehash these last few years or so. But the key point about Stafford last year, if you want to say, oh, those final games weren't that great either, he was so beat up by that point. He was so beat up. And that's why my whole thing about how great the Rams will be is how healthy can they keep Stafford. Now, I completely reject what Nick Wright just made up there. Oh, that they had this kind of agreement that if you come back, you don't really... The Rams don't owe that to Stafford at all. The Rams had all the power. They had all the power. They're the Rams. Sean McVay, they're the one that built the team. They're the ones that have Puka Nacua and Devontae and a great defense right now. Like, no. It's like, Stafford, if you want to go somewhere else, go to Las Vegas or go to Pittsburgh, go have fun with that. You go do that. You go figure that out. Best of luck to you, buddy. So the Rams didn't have to do anything. McVay didn't have to be like, oh, please, you don't have to partake in preseason at all. Just please come back. Like, that wasn't the story here. So it's we don't have to make up stories here. Stafford is older. Stafford is banged up. And I never thought that he wasn't going to start or going to play. My whole theory about Stafford has been is you just gotta not put too much wear and tear on him throughout the season. That I still think he can bring it in the playoffs and in the big moments, but to rely on him, to have him take a beating, to have him really linger in the pocket and really do everything he can to get that throw off before getting hit and slammed to the ground, like, you want to avoid that at all costs. And having him throw the ball 30, 35, 40 times a game after game after game after game after game, yeah, that's how you have him look like how he looked in the near the end of the season, just out of gas, hanging on by a thread, and then doing everything he can to kind of rise to the occasion come time playoffs. But yeah, he's older. But I think when he's healthy, and if they can preserve him, this is what I keep saying again and again and again, if they can preserve him throughout the season and not rely on him to be a workhorse game after game and actually protect him, keep him upright, and even just the hits that he takes after he, like, clearly, gets rid of the ball, right? Because that's kind of a signature of Stafford, is just really hanging in there to the very last second to get the ball out, because he's not the scramble mobile type quarterback. So the way how he really kind of takes things to that next level is being like, I'm hanging in there, man. Like, I'm holding on to this ball until the very last second if I need to get this throw off. But then because that, he takes a lot of contact. He's taken a lot of hits. So he was top 3 in the NFL with 63 hits last year, right? That's a lot for someone of his age. That's the kind of what I'm trying to talk about in terms of trying to reduce that. So, he missed the game, so he would have easily been top 10 in pass attempts, top 3 in QB hits. That's a lot for an older quarterback. It's you're putting so much wear and tear on his body. And make no mistake about it, Stafford's also not doing like little dink and dunk type passing either here. So that's just going to continue to be my main view on the Rams and how far, and how great they can be. It's like, if you preserve Stafford, you significantly drop the hits and even ease back on the pass attempts, then you're going to have a significantly fresher Matthew Stafford. And if you have a significantly fresher Matthew Stafford, yeah, I will believe in Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae. That defense right now, that O-line should be significantly better. Should have an improved run game attack now that you'll be able to have a lot more of a balanced offense. Yeah, and a lot of the key defensive players too are going to be a little bit more, are 1 year older now, more experienced, more veteran, more closer to being a true veteran than not. I don't know, like, that. What's annoying is about this idea of like, oh, Bruce just saying like, oh, I'm not buying that they're contenders because of blah 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 blah. It's just like, I don't know how you can have that conclusion, honestly. You have to bank on then Stafford being injured, or bank on him just no longer being able to be a successful quarterback. And I don't see how that's possible. And even if, let's say on a scale of 0 to 100, right? 100 is full prime. And let's say 50%, and it's not really a percent, but let's just say 50 is, once you hit 50, it's like you got to retire, right? Like, in terms of this made up scale that I'm making. You can make the argument that when Peyton Manning was playing, when he won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, he was at like 55. Like, he was like, some days it was 50, some days it was 55. Like, he was like right on this cusp here. And when you have a complete enough team, just your ability to make the right decisions, take care of the ball, be smart, make a big play or two when you really absolutely need it. But you combine that now with a great defense and an unbelievably gifted offensive head coach in Sean McVay, that even if in the worst case scenario, Matthew Stafford just like, boy, does he just not have it left, have anything left in the tank? I still believe that they would be able to at least find a way to be competitive, to make it work. If Sean McVay wasn't there, then sure, then I would really be significantly more concerned, and I would be putting so much more weight on the shoulders of Stafford and being able to make do. But to be clear, like, obviously, if Stafford really has fallen off a cliff here or is about to, well, then yeah, are they content? Are they going to be as great as contenders? And are you going to have as much confidence in them? Like, of course not. But I just feel that this team is complete enough, well coached enough, and Stafford is great enough and special enough that even if he's far from what he once was, when you combine all of these factors together, you should still have a lot of success. And if McVay reaches a conclusion, oh man, Stafford is just not what he once was, McVay is going to adjust the game plan. And I have confidence in that. It's really what it gets boiled down to. The bigger question is his actual injuries, which he does have. That's why, like, I totally disagree with Nick trying to downplay that, is just how will that linger throughout the season? Which then would just circle me right back to minimize the hits, minimize the games where you're throwing 35, 40 plus times a game, and just keep this man upright, keep this man healthy, get to the playoffs, then boom, get after it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Los Angeles Rams? Are you buying that LA are contenders? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.